What's going on YouTube? Roxas, the Torterra here, and today we are bringing you some Pokemon Showdown battles, and we are going to be commentating again, once again, as the last video, because I haven't had much time to record here and there, so as you guys can see, I'm still using my Mega Galley team. I'm actually considering using Mega Galley team for a really long time. Usually I have a set amount of videos that I want to use teams for, like a good 5 to 4 videos. I might use this for a long time, because I'm trying my best to get better with it. Out of all the new megas that I use, I really want to use Galley the most, but I want to really get better with it before I actually start pursuing real competitive battles with it. But technically I already have been pursuing competitive battles with it. That's the only way I can really test it out, because if someone doesn't play competitively enough, then and I wind up winning with this team, or just winning with Galley in particular, then it'll be like they weren't really as much of a challenge, you know. Not to say to my standards, but like to the team's standards. So like if I have a switch in for everything that the opponent has, and they don't go for the right moves, like just like predicting, just like that. Like if they don't predict my moves, then it's kind of hard for me to actually tell if my team's actually doing a decent job, you know. So anyway, with that, Happy New Year's. If you guys are watching this, you should be watching this after New Year's. I said Happy New Year's in my previous video, but because I don't know, I didn't know when I was uploading this, but as you guys can see, it's probably like a day after New Year's that this is going up. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we're gonna get right into it right now. This is actually gonna be a funny one though, because as you can see, his you have homework. His team consists of so many steel types. The only non-steel type is Mew. So maybe he was going for a mono-type feel, but I don't know. I really don't know what he was going for. But anyway, let's get right into it. You're gonna see something funny right at the beginning though. So this is just a little short battle. You'll see. So he sent out Mew, and I'm like, I fear the Will-O-Wisp, but I just like, you know what? I'm just gonna Mega Evolve and go for the Sword Dance. So he goes for the Iron Defense, I guess predicting me to switch. So I get a first hit crit Ice Punch as soon as we start the battle off. So I'm just going for another Sword Dance. Still fearing the Willow. He goes for the Iron Defense. I'm like, really? So I'm just gonna go for another Sword Dance. And behold, he goes for another Iron Defense. So I'm like, my attacks are gonna do a decent amount anyway. So he's 4 defense. I'm like, you know what? Let's go for one more Sword Dance so we can match his defense. Then he goes for Amnesia. I'm like, what are you bringing these defenses and special defense to? I don't know, but I'm gonna start Ice Punching. So Ice Punch, and of course that does a good amount because we're basically on par with his defense. And I get a freeze hack right off the bat with the Ice Punch. So I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing. If I had knockoff, this would have been destroyed, but I go for another Ice Punch. He stays thawed in the ice, and I'm just like, okay, Mew is gonna go down soon. We have 2 more hits, unless we can get a crit or something. And we get a crit. And then after this, he forfeits. I mean, I would have forfeited too. But I was just like, the Ice Punches are coming, and it was doing a lot of damage because we were both on par with each other. It was like he never really bulked up, which is why I stayed in at that point after seeing the Sword Dance. I realized how intimidating a Mega Galley really is, you know, especially if it sets up Sword Dance. So imagine this was his whole team afterwards. His whole team would have got wrecked, which is why he forfeited, because everyone, I'm so serious, everyone would have got close combat into the face. So anyway, moving on to the next battle. I don't know why this isn't set up. I set this up. This is going to be a little slower than usual, because we had a short battle just now, as you saw. So anyway, as you can see on his team, the threats are Scizor. Well, his whole team is composed of threats. Like I take every Pokemon into consideration. So I'm fearing the what do you call it? The physically defensive Garchomp, because nowadays I see a lot of people using that. So I always watch out for that, just in case it's going to be an opening in a team. So I lead with my Mega Galley as well in this battle, so you'll see what happens. So Blaster Dart comes out, and he sends that Rotom Moss, which is a normal lead. So I'm predicting him to go for the Volt Switch, so I stay in and go for the Sword Dance. So regardless if he Will-O-Wisps me, I'll still be at neutral attack once he Will-O-Wisps me. So I really didn't mind. So he does in fact go for the Will-O-Wisp, as I said. So I'm like, okay. I stayed in anyway, so I'm like, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm just gonna go for another Sword Dance. And I do, and I have special defense as well, because that's how Galley is. So he goes for the Hydro. I know I'm gonna live it, because Galley has a natural special defense. So I live it. The burn damage does rack up a little bit. I'm just like, whatever. I'm gonna go for the close combat now. So I go for close combat and bring his Rotom Moss to 5%. And He goes for the Hydro, and he misses. I'm thinking I'm about to get knocked out by it, and he misses. So I'm like, I'm gonna go for the Psycho Cut, just in case he wants to switch into his Sylveon or his Azumarill. So I go for Psycho Cut, and he switches into his Azumarill. So I'm like, ooh, this is great. So I catch the Azumarill Psycho Cut, does over half, way more than over half. Does, oh my god, so much beautiful damage. And I switch because I know he wants to either go for the Aqua Jet or the Waterfall. Aqua Jet is the best play here, so I switch out and I go into my Rotom. And I put him in a tight situation. And so he goes to the Aqua Jet, of course, and I eat it up because I have Rotom. I consider going for the Willow here, but I'm actually like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch. You can easily go to Garchomp, but I don't predict that. So he switches out and goes into Sylveon. That's a really good play. But if he really wanted to like make that real good play and to lock me in, it could have been the Garchomp, but then again, what is Garchomp gonna do to Rotom? So that Sylveon was the best play. Because if he went to Garchomp, I would just Willow Wisp him after his turn. Anyway, I go into Platinum Drive my Metagross, and I actually predict him to switch, so I go for a Power Up Punch here. And he goes into his Garchomp. So I'm like, oh, okay. So Garchomp comes in. That was an opportunity for me to set Stealth Rock because I knew he was going to switch, but I was like, you know what? I might as well just go for the Power Punch, just see. So his Garchomp has the rough skin, obviously. He has no Rocky Helmet, so I'm pretty much safe to know that this is not a physically defensive Garchomp. So I switch out of my Platinum Drive and go into Zapdos instead of Rotom just in case he plays some crazy game. So he goes for the Crunch, and he does take Rocky Helmet damage, which is I'm so happy about. So I'm considering him to stay in or switch out, but I went for the Hidden Power Ice regardless. He goes into the Heatran, and we do see the Heatran resist the Hidden Power Ice. So I'm like, alright, well, switching to Sylveon because he's not going for a Flash Cannon. And my thought process is, I switch to Sylveon, he goes for whatever move he goes for. I see how much damage it does. The last one doesn't do that much damage. So and we don't get the burn either, so that's really great. I go for the Wish here, trying to get his trying to get into Gallade, but I forgot. He switches out, and I forget he has Scizor. I'm like, oh, he has Scizor. How can I forget Scizor? So I go for the Protect instead, thinking he has Flash Cannon as well with his Heatran, so I protect just in case. So if I had got the Wish off here, it would have been such a good switch in afterwards. So the Scizor is here, and I switch out, and I go into my Metagross. Scizor Mega Evolve and goes for the Sword Dance, and I'm just like, that was pretty good on his behalf. So I'm scared. I'm just like crapping my pants at this point because Scizor is just +2, and it's, oh my god, Technician. So, I mean, Knockoff is not affected by Technician, but it's just the fact that Scizor has Knockoff with the Sword Dance. It bodies Platinum Drive instantly with one hit. I go into my physically defensive Zapdos, hoping for him to go for a move, Knockoff. So he probably predicted me to have the Heat Wave, so he switches out and goes into Heatran, and I go for the T-Ball here. Well, actually, oh my bad, I go for the Roost, because I actually expected him to go for a move, but I forgot he might think I have Heat Wave, which is why he went to Heatran. So I switch out my Zapdos and go to Sylveon. He goes for the Lava Plume once again, and I still don't get burned, which is really good. So I'm just like, alright, let's try to get the Wish off. Because he's obviously going to go into his Scizor again, so the Hyper Voice won't really do much. But at the same time, I'm like, if he goes for another Sword Dance when he comes back in with Scizor, they were going to be the problem. So I went for the Heal Bell instead because I did remember that my Gallade was poisoned. So I'm like, you know what, Gallade might be of some use now. So I can heal Gallade. So I didn't go for the Wish, I'm sorry. I'm forgetting this battle even though I just did it not too long ago. So anyway, I stay in predicting him not to go for the Bullet Punch because I know he's going to go for the Knockoff. And I do resist Knockoff. So I go for the Protect. And I catch the Wish. I was honestly expecting him to go for a Bullet Punch this time around, but he still stayed in there for the Knockoff. So that was fine with me. Now that the heal has gone through, I'm sure he assumes that I'm going to be going to Gallade if I go for another Wish. So he Sword Dances, and I'm like, that is not safe at all after I go for the Wish. I'm like, this is not safe. So I switch out and go into Gallade anyway, I believe, at this point. No, Zapdos, my bad. I don't know why I'm messing up this commentary so much. Don't quote me, but anyway, he went for the Bullet Punch here, and I was really surprised. Because I resist that. And plus, I'm physically defensive, and the Zapdos does come in because I did predict him to actually, my bad, now I remember, this played it, because I did predict him to go into, he did predict me to go into the Gallade right there, so I just stayed and went to the Zapdos and make him take more damage. I went for the Thunderbolt here, not switching out. Heatran did stay in, well, switched out rather, and there's Sylveon coming back in to take some special hits, so I switch out, of course, knowing that Sylveon's coming in, and I go back into my Sylveon because I'm really at a area where I'm trying to use Wish to put my Gallade back up to get a decent amount of HP, so I get him to do some more work here. So he goes for the wish, and I go for the wish. I then hastily switch out, not thinking, and go into my Gallades. And he goes for the Hyper Voice. Last Star goes down. Not in vain, not in vain. He put in work in the beginning. He bopped the Rotom. Well, he didn't bop them, but he damaged the Rotom severely and the Zumurl. So I'm like, okay, I'm not so bad. I should have predicted that. It was kind of easy. Sylveon could have went for any move because it has pretty much total range on my team now that Metagross is gone. So I go for the Fake Out. He goes for the Protect, obviously. Then I go for the double hit. Trying to deal some more damage to Sylveon. Sylveon does go for the Wish. Seeing how much damage I basically did, he knows that he can take another one, or he could just Protect after the Wish and get all his full HP back. So he does switch and goes on the Garchomp. I go for the double hit anyway. I'm a little like disappointed here because I think I'm not going to be able to take it out with a double hit. And then I get a crit on the second part of the double hit. So I was just like, oh my god, there goes the Garchomp. Garchomp falls down to the Ambipom, mighty Ambipom. He goes back into Sylveon. I'm debating the fact that if I should go for a knockoff or a double hit. So instead I go for the double hit instead. And he takes really good damage. And he goes for the Wish. He's still alive. So I'm like, he might go for the Protect. So I'm gonna just go for the knockoff just in case. I should have went for the double hit here, but he still went for the Protect. So that was really not safe. But I go for the double hit anyway, like I said. At this turn, at this point, he knows after he catches the Wish, plus the leftovers, that I'm not going to be able to knock him out unless I get like a double crit with double hit. So I go for the knockoff instead of drop its leftovers recovery. So you see Sylveon is putting in a lot of work. He crits me with a Hyper Whip, and down goes my Ambipom. So I'm just like, oh, why Ambipom, why? So I'm just like, I got to go into my Sylveon now. So I go into my Sylveon, I throw up a Wish. And I'm waiting to see what he does. He goes up a Wish as well. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be a stally battle. So I go for the Hyper Voice, predicting him to switch out, obviously. And there goes the Zumurl. Now if I had Stealth Rocks up, that Zumurl took Stealth Rock damage and Hyper Voice damage, and most likely would have perished. So yeah. And he catches the Hyper Voice. I mean, he catches the Wish. So I double out. I'm not taking any damage with Sylveon. I go into my Zapdos at this point, because Rotom doesn't need to take any damage, while this Azumarill is going to go for physical attacks. He can take Rocky Helmet damage. Plus I have T-Bolt and Roost, so the Azumarill will basically be killing itself. So at this point he switches out. That wasn't really the problem. So I just went for the T-Bolt just in case he wanted to stay in. T-Bolt does go off, and I get the Paralyze hacks on Sylveon. So this was a big help, because now I can't go for its move safely. So I go for the T-Bolt again on Sylveon, and it gets another Para. So I'm hyped. I'm just like, okay, we might have a chance at this now. So he switches out, and I'm just like, well, we got the Para on that. Sends in Rotom, and I go for another T-Bolt. So Rotom jumps right into the T-Bolt. Of course, Rotom is out of the equation after this. So I'm just like, alright, that's another threat down. Rotom is out, and he has Zumurl, Heatran, Sylveon, and Scizor. Scizor comes in, and I'm just like, maybe I should go for the Roost. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for the T-Bolt. Let's see what he does. And he goes for the Sword Dance. So I'm like, alright, this is pretty much GG if he knocks me out. But I'm like, you know what? I'm faster. I'm going to go for the T-Bolt again. So if he tries to hit me, he'll die with me at this point. He goes for the Roost, so he's stalling. And I'm like, you know what? At this point, I'm just going to go for T-Bolts until I paralyze him. So hopefully I get the Para Hack. So, I'm just striking him with Thunderbolts, and he does not give up. He keeps going for the Roost. I'm like, I pretty much have him on lockdown here because he can't go straight for any other move because I'm faster than him. So I keep going for T-Bolt, T-Bolt, Thunderbolt. No Paralyze hacks, not a single one. So I keep Thunderbolt. And he goes for the knockoff, and he almost KOs me. He doesn't KO me. I believe right here that he can knock me out with a Bullet Punch. So this is really the crucial point, and it's really pressurous. It's so much pressure in this turn. So I switch out instantly and go into my Scrub It Up, predicting him not to go for another move like that, and he goes for the Bullet Punch. And I am so relieved because now I have Switch Initiative. So I go for the Hydro Pump, predicting him not to go into the Azumarill. And even if he did go into the Azumarill would have still got bopped by the Hydro. So Scizor does go down. And then he forfeits. So my brain was trying to calculate why he quit. Stealth Rock is not up on his side. I don't have any Stealth Rocks up on his side. Azumarill's at 3 HP. I mean, Azumarill's gonna get bopped as soon as it comes in. If he tries to play the game of where Azumarill catches a Wish from Sylveon, then I could understand that. But then I realized, oh my god, I had his Sylveon cornered. His Sylveon's paralyzed and it's at like 5 or 13 HP. One more hit from anything and it's dead. So that was brilliant. So I'm just like, if he comes in, he can't come in with anything. So if Sylveon comes in, I could just Volt Switch it or Hydro Pump it and knock it out. Comes into his Heatran, I Hydro Pump it instead. So Azumarill speaks for herself, it's at 3 HP. It's gonna get knocked out. Even if I don't attack it, I'll just switch into Zapdos and it can catch a Rocky Helmet damage. So this team did really well. I was really surprised that we won this battle. It was pretty tough, but I think the decision that won me the battle was switching out into Rotom right at that moment when I had the Zapdos. Because if he had knocked my Zapdos out, I'm sure at that point once he had knocked Zapdos out, he wouldn't have even cared about he wouldn't have even cared. He would have just roosted up in front of my face, and then he probably would have tried his best to Sword Dance up even after I Will-O-Wisp him. So I was like, nah, I'm never gonna take the chance of Will-O-Wisping him because there's a Heatran here. So I didn't go for a Will-O-Wisp or anything like that. I went straight for the Hydro. With that, you guys, already know what I'm about to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. But what I need you to do is Mach Punch the heck out of the like button, like it in front of break and destroy, do whatever you want with it. Just don't hit that dislike button because it'll make me really sad. And this is a new year, so you don't want to make anybody sad during New Year. And New Year's just started. We're on day 2 of New Year's. Technically, it's day 2 for me because I'm recording on January 2nd. So yeah, leave some comments in the section below describing what you liked about this video. Tell me what you would have done. Tell me what you, I don't know. Tell me if you want to battle me as well on like PvP me on Showdown. I really want to get into PvP with some of the viewers. Even some of the PokeTubers that I work with on Team Sigma, I want them to come and join me if they ever want to. But I think I'm just gonna start reaching out to them so you guys can be more insane because just battling random people is fun. And don't get me wrong, it is really fun. But it'll be fun to battle somebody competitively that I know. Plus that I know they have a reputation of knowing how to battle pretty well or decently at least. So with that. If you have any friends that like Pokemon, tell them to check my channel out. Tell them to check out the content I'm providing as well as Team Sigma that I'm part of. Check out all the PokeTubers on Team Sigma, and pretty much that's about it. You guys already know. But with that, I'm out. Bye! Happy New Year!